Cloud computing and the idea of burstable infrastructure. Burstable infrastructure refers to computing resources like CPU and memory that can temporarily exceed their specified limits to handle increased workloads. This type of infrastructure is designed to handle sudden spikes in demand but returns to normal levels when demand subsides. The idea behind bustable infrastructure is to provide organizations with the flexibility to handle increased workloads without having to invest in additional permanently allocated computing resources. And this can help organizations save cost by only paying for the resources they use during periods of high demand and avoiding the cost of underutilized resources during periods of low demand. Some common example of burstable infrastructure can be virtual private servers and certain types of cloud computing instances, such as Amazon EC2 T2 instances that provide a baseline level of performance with the ability to burst to higher levels as needed. So, otherwise, in traditional infrastructure, the organization would need to over provision resources to ensure that they could handle unexpected spikes in demand. Because spikes in demand is a real scenario and it happens all the time with the live and running applications. But in the traditional infrastructure, this over provisioning of additional resources leads to underutilization and wasted resources, as well as higher cost. While in a bustable infrastructures, resources are automatically and dynamically allocated as needed, allowing organization to only pay for the resources they actually use. And that's why we generally talk about bustable infra in the context of cloud, where it refers to the ability of a cloud computing environment to temporarily accommodate a sudden spike in resource demand, such as increased traffic to a website or a surge in processing needs for a batch job. We can say that the idea of trustable infrastructure is typically implemented in cloud computing environment, such as public cloud, where resources can be quickly and easily provisioned and deprovisioned. This allows organizations to avoid the cost associated with over provisioning and the risk associated with under provisioning, ensuring that their infrastructure can handle sudden spikes in demand while still maintaining high levels of efficiency and cost effectiveness. So, to understand how this look like in action, we can consider certain scenarios. Let's say one day a popular website experiences a sudden spike in traffic due to some viral marketing campaign or some news article or video. In that case, a bustable infrastructure, the cloud provider can automatically provision additional resources, such as additional servers or storage to accommodate the increased traffic, ensuring that the website continues to operate smoothly. Another scenario can be a batch processing, when there is an organization which needs to run a batch job that involves processing large amounts of data. So, in a burstable infrastructure, the cloud provider can allocate additional resources like additional CPU or memory to handle the batch job, ensuring that it completes quickly and efficiently. Or there can be some game server for some online gaming company which needs to accommodate sudden spikes in demand for its game servers. In that case, again, in a burstable infrastructure scenario, the cloud provider can allocate additional resources like additional servers or bandwidth and all. And a scenario can be an e commerce website during the holiday season when the sudden surge in demand can occur in the website. And in that case, again, the cloud provider can allocate additional resources. So, these are the typical scenarios where the burstable infrastructure helps. And in each of these scenarios, by utilizing the burstable infrastructure, organizations can avoid the cost associated with over provisioning and the risk associated with under provisioning, ensuring that their infrastructure is always up to the task. The word burstable infrastructure seems to be inspired from burstable billing, a method of measuring bandwidth based on peak use. that allow users to exceed a specified threshold for brief period of time without the financial penalty of purchasing a higher committed information rate from an internet service provider. It seems to be inspired from that idea. But in simple terms, we can say burstable means the ability to burst. And in the context of computer and network resources, it means having the ability to exceed the normal maximum bandwidth for short periods. Another idea that is derived from this one is the concept of cloud bursting. And we'll talk about that in the next part.